shine on Happy Camper Life. We're loving, living, and learning online on Happy Camper Life.
Hi, I'm Allison Miller from Happy Camper Live's Camp Shopping channel, and we are here today with Sandy Slade from Scholastics. Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Allison. As Allison said, my name is Sandy Slade. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Scholastics, and we're a physical activity program for camps and schools and after-school programs all over the country. We've been in business for almost 24 years, so it's been really a great journey to be able to get kids excited about moving.
Sandy, tell me how Scholastics started.
Well, I have an interesting story because for 22 years, I was a professional sports entertainer. And what does that mean? I did tricks with basketballs for a living. So I did halftimes for NBA games, colleges. I was a one-woman globetrotter. So it was a very interesting profession. I absolutely loved it. But there's something called getting older. And getting older meant that I would not be able to perform forever. So I started to think what else I was passionate about, and that was getting kids to have a positive experience being physically active. And so I just started pursuing that particular thing, going to physical education conferences and talking to people about physical activity. And then I just came up with the idea because I first started with a product called Basketball Scholastics. And the biggest problem that physical education teachers were having was we have so many different levels of ability. How do we teach basic basketball fundamentals to be able to get all kids to enjoy working on it without it being boring? So I came up with the concept of scholastics, where you put everybody on a level playing field, and it's in a game-like form where everybody has fun. It can be competitive, non-competitive, and it really gets everybody to enjoy working on usually what they think boring fundamentals. So after I created Basketball Scholastics and the positive response I got from it, I decided that I needed to create more. So now we have over 14 different versions of Scholastics, and they are in over 25,000 programs nationwide.
That's incredible. And it's such a great story. And I don't think I knew about you being a sports entertainer. So
Yeah.
I always thought you had this great personality whenever we spoke. And so now I see it's all lining up. It all makes
Yeah.
sense. So one of the things that I have been really looking for are things that work really great in the school setting, in the PE setting, and bringing them into camps.
Yeah.
And I think you and I have really aligned on that. And these programs are really terrific on many levels. But one of the things, I'm just wondering if you want to show a little show and tell so people can get a sense
Sure.
of what Scholastics is. And then I want to talk about how you can really help your staff run these programs for the kids through this program, because like we had talked about, a lot of staff come and they don't necessarily know all these different sports. And your program really allows for them to lead the kids in a very special way.
Sure, absolutely. One of the things why it's great for a camp setting is because sometimes you need filler time. And instead of standing around, this is a great activity to have instant and getting kids moving. It also, unfortunately, our society is not a society about moving. And so when it comes to kids, they're really good with their thumbs, but in terms of physical activity, not so much. So we really want to be able to have something that grabs their attention and they succeed instantly. If you've got those two things, which Scholastics does, it ends up being successful. Very simple to set up, about 30 seconds, and the kids can get moving, and really up to 100 kids can play this at once. So you have a variety of, you can have 6 kids playing it, you can play a variety. So it really allows for a lot of flexibility depending upon how many children you work with at your camp. But just to give you an example of Scholastics, I'll show you right here. They all come in backpacks, just a quick little backpack. Everything comes into this bag. And what it includes, and I'm not going to take this completely out, but this is a 5-foot by 7-foot mat. And it looks like an oversized game board. So it's very colorful. If I pulled this out, actually, I'll pull out one of the miniature mats to show you. But one of the miniature mats, this shows actually how big it is. So this is a miniature mat for a team, but there's the big one is 5 foot by 7 foot. So the way that you would play this, very simplistic. If you look right here, that's the start spot for 6 different teams. So you can see those throughout the whole mat. And so you would put the same colored dice and beanbag. Here's a dice, oversized dice, and then an oversized beanbag, and you would put it on that same color on the mat. So what do? You take a group of children and you divide them into 6 teams, and you assign each team a color. Then every team is told to go away from that big mat that's in the middle of the playing area. And each team gets one of these miniature mats. It's kind of like a reference. And the way you start is you just say go, and one child from each team comes running to their color on that mat in the middle. So 6 kids come running to their color, and they roll their dice, and whatever they roll, they land with their beanbag on an activity. They look at the activity, and if they can't remember the activity, there's a number associated with it. They run back to their group and point it out on this miniature mat and say, hey guys, we got to do number 22. And then everybody in that group does that activity together. And how many do they do? At the bottom of each activities, there are 3 different colored numbers, and that represents beginning, intermediate, or advanced repetitions. So you as the instructor would say, hey group, today we're doing the blue amount. So they know every time they land on that activity, everybody does that amount in that blue number. So
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
With that? If you have a variety, because I find this at camp, the kids do a lot of things, within their age group. So if you have different skill levels, can you have one group do the blue and one group do the red, or whatever the different skill levels are? Can you divide it up by that?
You can absolutely do that. If you feel as the instructor that a certain group may not be as athletic, but you want them to succeed, you can definitely put them all in one group. But what also makes this nice is even if those different levels are mixed up, it's a team concept. So they have to do the activities together. Say they have to do 5 of them. Everybody has to do it together, and they go at the speed as maybe the child that isn't the most athletic. Now, that determines upon what the instructor, if they feel that would work, because sometimes peer leaders in a group, they look up to those people and they want to be like them, so they'll be fine with it. Other times they might be intimidated. So if you want to be able to put it in separate groups, that's absolutely okay, because it's not about winning, it's just participation. You can make it competitive. There's lots of options we have. And you mentioned also the support that we have, and we have an online platform with every single kit that we sell, is that there are videos of children demonstrating each of the activities. There's lesson plans. One of the worst things that you can do is lay this out and have the children just play, because they're sitting there trying to figure out each activity. So what we have are task cards, and these are each of the 26 activities on the mat. And we have a lot of games that you can use with this to familiarize the kids with the activities, and then you have them play Scholastics. So lots of tools online that makes it very simple for the instructors. And that's what we're known for, making it very, very simple. And you don't have to be, you can be a novice at this, but if you set it up, the kids just keep playing, and it takes care of itself.
Here is a quick demonstration on how the celebrated Scholastics technique works. Empty the backpack containing all the Scholastics components. Open the oversized mat in the middle of the playing area. Place the die and matching color beanbag on the oversized mat's corresponding colored symbol. And then place the miniature mats equal distance away from and circling the oversized mat. Also, lay the matching colored question cards in category piles next to each miniature mat. Divide a group of students into 6 teams and assign them to their team areas. The action begins when a player from each team jogs to the oversized mat, rolls their assigned color die, and moves their team's beanbag accordingly. They then jog back to their team, explain the activity, or point it out on the miniature mat, and everyone executes the activity the number of repetitions assigned by the instructor prior to start. Beginning, intermediate, or advanced repetitions. After completing the activity, if your Scholastics activity kit did not include question cards, the process is repeated with another child on each team. If your Scholastics activity kit includes question cards, the child that rolled the die on the oversized mat is teacher for that moment and matches the colored border of the activity just completed with a colored symbol or words on the question card. They read the question to the group, and everyone on the team answers the question. When completed, the child places the question card under the category pile, and the process is repeated with another child from that team running up to the mat to discover the next activity. Every team operates independently of each other, moving, learning, and having fun.
And all of the different packages that you have, there's fitness, there's tennis, there's basketball, there's soccer, there's like a multi-sport, which we have. We've really handpicked the ones that we thought would be great for camps. So we have very specific ones on the camp shopping channel. But with all of those, do you feel that a camp director, giving this to their staff, can they take the kit as is, or do they really need the resources online? Because a lot of camps, the staff don't have access to computers. So this is very all-inclusive. So while you have those additional resources, maybe like an athletic director at your camp learns, or maybe, your head of basketball learns, but then, they then can have the counselor staff like run the activity without having to use all those resources, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's just pick up and play. Very simple. Step 1, lay the mat out. Step 2, put the dice and bean bags on the start spot. Step 3, put all the miniature mats away from the big mat. Step 4, count off, divide the kids into 6 teams, and then tell them the area, what mat they go to and the color they're assigned. And then they roll, go, and one child from each team rolls a dice, whatever they land on, then they go back to their group and do the group activity together. And they keep going around and around. And it's fun. I mean, sometimes if you want to make it competitive, the first team that goes completely around, jumping over their start spot and finishing the next one, wins. And, that takes maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and the kids just love it. I mean, the level of intensity really raises. And if you just want an activity that really is quick and exciting and gets everybody, and I mean everybody involved, Scholastics is something really simple to set up and really is effective.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects of it, which are great for camp. So certainly the number of kids that you can have a small group up to 100. I'm thinking rainy days, often the kids have tennis or soccer on their schedule and you're like, oh, what am I going to do with this group? It's raining. But you could still run that activity with Scholastics because all of the exercises and drills are all going to be related to that sport, right?
Absolutely. Take, for instance, basketball Scholastics. You don't need baskets to play it. You're working on maybe if there's one activity that works on shooting, there's one activity that works on passing, ball handling, dribbling. So all different basic fundamentals. But if it's raining outside, but yet you have basketball scheduled, you absolutely can take out the basketball Scholastics kit And then the kids each have a basketball, and then they go ahead and play, and they're working on basketball without having to shoot.
Yeah, it's terrific. So number of kids is great. The fact that a staff member can set this up in 30 seconds, because
Easily.
sometimes you're in the middle of tennis and it rains and you want to go inside,
True.
So I also think from a space perspective, depending on the size of your group, it seems really adaptable in terms of the space and just that learning curve for the staff. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. I think these days it's just harder and harder to find some staff that really specialize in these activities. So to be able to have this as a resource is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so active. Everybody's
Yeah.
moving. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
It's so
It-
fun. But I know you have other things as well. There's another package that we have that we have on the site, and that's the paddles.
yeah,
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could talk about that as well.
absolutely. Let me just grab it here for a second. So this is called Street Racket. Okay, Street Racket. And a lot of times people say, oh, okay, another racket sport. And really, I thought that first, but then understanding Street Racket is wonderful. You get 36 paddles and bouncy balls and chalk. What's different about this is that you set up patterns on the sidewalk, even you can do it on the wall, and they have a card that comes with the Street Racket package of all the different designs that you can set up, and kids are hitting the ball into the design and coming back and forth, just like you can see right there. So in the top right hand corner, you can see all the different ways that you can set up the patterns. And if you just do it quickly, hey, we're going to just play Street Racket, and I'm going to have each, say, two kids each are going to have some chalk, and they're going to mark off their particular pattern, and then they just go ahead and play. So they're trying to hit into the pattern back and forth. And this ball is very soft. It's not going to hurt. And it's just helping kids work on their hand-eye coordination and working on their racket skills. And having a positive experience with something like Street
Right.
Racket will help them maybe say, hey, maybe I'd like to play tennis or pickleball. Or
Right.
this is a great start for them.
Everything is so well thought out, Sandy. It's amazing. And the quantity of items that you've put together, and I know because you've done so much of this for schools, having 36 rackets is a great number of rackets to have. I mean, I feel like the general theme is kids aren't sitting out. Your
That's right.
goal was to make sure everybody participates, and you really achieve that in the products. And that's our goal at camp too. We don't want kids sitting around watching. It gets
No.
really boring for them. They lose interest, or it gives them an excuse to kind of pull themselves out. And
That's
you've
right.
really like leveled the playing field for all of these kids. And products are great. I'm really excited that we got to meet and I got to learn more about what you have to offer. Some of the sports camp package, I just wanted to talk specifically about that. How is that different than, let's say, the fitness or the basketball?
Sure. So what's nice about Scholastics is the technique of play is the same. So with basketball scholastics, you're learning all different basketball skills, and that technique that I explained earlier is how you play it. Tennis scholastics, it's the same idea, which has been endorsed by the United States Tennis Association. For many years, we were one of the courts during the Arthur Ashe's Kids Day, where kids
Oh,
came and got to play scholastics. So that was just a really fun
wow.
thing to be a part of. But what they loved about it was it's, again, working on the basic fundamentals of tennis in a non-competitive, non-threatening environment, which got those kids that normally would never want to participate, getting them up and saying, yeah, I can do this. And so that's what's so great about it. That's the same with soccer. The same technique is the same, but the 26 activities around it are all soccer skills. And soccer is really, really popular this year because of the World Cup that's going to be here in the States. And so this is something that you're going to see more kids interested in, and being able to pull out the soccer scholastics is a great resource. And then also volleyball. Volleyball
Right.
scholastics is the same idea, is being able to just work on the basic fundamentals of volleyball in that same scholastics technique.
Yeah, we're going to need to add some things onto the Camp Shopping channel because I think there's such benefit to the different packages. We had picked some, but I think I want to add the basketball and the soccer because I think, like you just said, with the World Cup, there's going to be a lot of excitement
Sure.
there. And we also have packages that have equipment and don't have equipment. So could
Exactly.
you explain the difference so that people know what they would be ordering?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, let's use the example of basketball scholastics. Basketball scholastics comes with that kit in the bag, which is great
Mhm.
because it's very portable, easy to store. You know, you just hang it up on a nail, very simple. But it does not come with basketballs. And so, but there are camps out there that already have a bunch of
Right.
basketballs. And so they don't need the equipment. But there are some camps out there that say, you know, we don't have basketballs, or we don't have enough basketballs for every child that's playing. So it's probably more advantageous that we purchase the basketball scholastics with basketballs.
Right. So those are the different options. And
Correct.
for the sports package, there's a lot of additional things in there. You have basketballs, you have discs, you have soccer balls, you have a lot
Rackets.
of different,
Yes.
yeah. So I think it's very like if you're a camp also starting out, because there are a lot of camps that start new programs there or this is their first summer and you're trying to introduce some sports into the day or activity into the day. Let's say you're a computer camp or an art camp, like the kids still need to move around. So you may not know how to teach those things, and this is a great way really to have any camp have an active program. So
Absolutely.
I think that's really important to note. It's not just the camps that are already focusing on sports, but let's get the kids moving. It's summer, we want them to have fun. We want them to move around and you really are helping a lot of people with what you have to offer. So I'm not surprised to hear that it's in 20,000 schools and you're at the US Open.
Yeah.
It's just a quality product and it's so well thought out.
Well, it,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask if there was anything that I haven't covered because there feel like
Sure.
there's so much to cover. Yeah.
I absolutely. I want to share another product that we are releasing that's I'm just very
Oh, yeah.
excited to tell you about. But just to kind of tag on to what you were talking about is that when I created these products, I wanted to create them for children that normally would not want to be active. Being an athlete, I was always picked first for teams, and but I always had that soft spot and felt bad for those kids that got picked last because they didn't get to enjoy the activity like I did. And I wanted to create something that got those kids to enjoy working on basic fundamentals and hopefully having a positive experience. And that was my motivation creating all these products. But the one thing, like you said, even at a computer camp, kids, if they get up and move, they're going to realize they're going to succeed with scholastics, and that's going to make them hopefully continue to be more active. And it's also going to help with focus and getting kids to get out the jitters during the day,
Right.
and they're going to feel more ready to do what they came to camp for in terms of computers or whatever it might be. So that
And also, a lot of those camps, the kids are like one-on-one doing projects. This is an opportunity for kids to work together.
yes,
And I think that's really important
yes,
because there are a lot of camps where art camps and, whatever these other types of programs are, they are very individually focused. So finding something that gets the kids moving, to get them working in teams, is a great way to get kids to know each other. So if you have also the need for team building just at the beginning, ways to introduce kids to each other. This is a really fun way to do that as well. And staff orientation, throw it down and have your staff do it. I would do that too. We're always looking at my staff, they don't want to sit down and listen to every lecture every minute,
Yeah.
So throw it out there and have them, I love when our staff try the things that we're doing with the kids and they get to see, how it really works.
Yeah, I was, you beat me to it because I was going to say this is a great staff activity. And what will come out is to see who's the leaders, who are the ones that are most enthusiastic, who ones participates more. I mean, it will bring a lot of the personalities out of your staff. And so I know a number of school districts that do this before the school year to get their staff up and moving, and kind of just seeing their personalities definitely come out when they're playing scholastics.
And also, I always worry during orientation, somebody's going to get hurt. You throw them on a soccer field and there's,
Right.
and this
Yeah.
is a nice, safe way to keep people active
Yes.
if they're participating within the,
Yeah,
structure of the scholastic game.
absolutely. Well, yeah, just to share with you another product that we just introduced. It's called Ability Scholastics, and this is actually a product for the special needs population. This is a product that I have been thinking for over 10 years how to create, and because I just felt that there's a need, but there's such a challenge because there's so many different range of abilities. So how do you create a product that hits all different abilities? And what we've been able to do was create, not based on diagnosis, but there's 4 different levels, movement levels, so that it hits all different levels. And this is just kind of shows you a bag of all abilities scholastics. And how you play it is it just has a, this is a 3-foot by 3-foot target. And you can see the 4 different colors, yellow, green, blue, and red. And and then it also comes with 4 different stacks of activity cards. Okay, so these are the colors on that mat. A child, say if they're in a wheelchair, the staff can roll them on top of the target and let them just drop the beanbag on it. Whatever color the beanbag lands on, say it lands on green, they would pick this card. Now we have 4 different levels. This level right here, you can see a child in a wheelchair. They're taking the scarf, which is a part of the kit, and they can just try to get the scarf to come off their head. If they just move slightly, you can maybe put it at the front of their head so it comes off easily. That's the activity. Then the next activity is a child that might have a little bit more range of ability, but still has low function. They can shake and see if they can knock it off their head and maybe catch it. They can catch it, or they can catch it in their lap, whatever it might be. Then you're looking at the next level, which is a child that is standing up. They knock it off their head and they try to catch it on their elbow, or they can just catch it. These are suggestions, but it shows the level, and the instructor can make it a variety based on the child's ability. And then finally, this one is for a child that may have some cognitive challenges, but physically they can do everything. And this particular activity, they shake it off their head and they try to catch it on their knee. So you can see the 4 different levels. So there's basically 160 different activities in this kit. And it's great because we want all levels to be able to succeed. We all are not on the same level. So based upon your diagnosis and what your challenges are, this allows you to still be able to succeed and make these kids feel good and a part of this particular resource.
That's wonderful. And when you say there's 160 activities, is that 160 cards or 4 on a card?
Sure. There are 10 in each color, 10 cards in each color. So there's 40 cards. Okay. And then the 4 different activities. So that's 160.
Got it. Right.
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. And I know that was really something that you've been focusing on for a long time. When I met
Yeah.
you last year, you were talking about how you were hoping to have that available for this summer. And I
Mhm.
think that should be available
It will be,
before the
yes.
summer. So
Yep.
that's great. And looking forward to offering that on the Camp Shopping channel too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's so fun talking to you. It just feels like you're just such an expert and you have taken so much time to create programs that I think camps will really, really benefit for. And I don't know if camps are aware of all of these great things that you have. So I feel really fortunate that we were connected and that we are able to be partners and have you on
Yeah,
the Camp
absolutely.
Shopping channel. And I'm just really looking forward to touching and feeling everything myself and playing this summer and getting this firsthand experience, for our staff and our kids. So I really appreciate everything that you've done to support us in bringing this to the camps.
Well, absolutely, Allison. I really appreciate our partnership, and it's exciting to be able to expose the camp environment to all of Scholastics because I'm very confident that once they see this in action, you get goosebumps because you see kids that normally don't want to participate, and then you see them up and moving and smiling and having a good time. There's nothing like it. So I appreciate the connection as well, and I look forward to getting a lot of scholastics in camps all over the country.
Me too. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Sandy, for being here.
you bet.
And hopefully we'll chat again soon. And when you have another new product that you're bringing out, I'm curious to know what's next. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Allison.
thank you.
Take a moment to shine.